So today's topic: how guys can attract the woman of their dreams. Today is all about attraction. Everything attraction. I'm covering the physical, emotional, and mental. Windy, you're covering the sexual and really the value, right? Like substance,
Yeah, having purpose and substance in the relationship or when you're dealing with women.
right? So this is about to be a whole lot of game. We're going to be breaking it down into 5 parts. I'm gonna speak my end. Of course, I'm gonna always allow YND to pitch in because I feel like nobody breaks stuff down better than YND. He really opened up your mind. And then I'm gonna let him go. I always have a hard time reacting to YND because he takes all the words out of my mouth. Pause. Um, but
I mean,
every
at least
time.
you didn't say I put. I hold on. At least you didn't say I put them all in your mouth. See, that's
No,
where the
see,
pause was. That,
we
that
could have,
wasn't that
we
bad.
could have. I was just I was playing it safe, bro. I was playing it safe. Um, but yeah, like it's very hard for me to piggyback on YND because he always covers everything. So that's why I love working with YND, and helping you guys with collaborating content. But without further ado, we're gonna get straight to it. So
Mhm.
I like to preach practical steps, and the very first practical step I want to tell y'all is taking care of your appearance, right? Because your physical attraction is going to be the very first thing that she sees. And a thing that I really like to say is like you can do the self improvement. You can work on your conversation skills. You can work on your confidence and all this good stuff. But if you're not representing yourself properly, you're not even going to give yourself an opportunity or a chance to attract what you can actually attract, like to the best of your ability. And the analogy I like to use is you can have a great story, but if the title of the book and the cover of the book is ash, you probably won't pick that book up. And that's why I think that don't judge a book by a cover is a very bad analogy because at the end of the day, we all are buying things and making decisions based off of our value perception and what we think we're going to get out of it before we actually
Right.
experience. So I want to tone in and dial in on your appearance. And I give you a couple of things that I can say to focus on. One, I would say definitely get get really specific on the type of person you want to become, right? And we're going to get deeper on that way later in the talk. But for right now, let's talk about appearance, right? If there's certain outfits that you see, instead of just looking at like the outfit, like what is it that you like about the outfit? Is it the colors together? Is it the fits together? Don't be afraid to ask. And some people are gonna gatekeep, but at the end of the day, bro, don't be afraid to ask where they got their pants from, right? You may not get the same exact pants, but you can go shop at that store and find something else you like, right? Um, find things that you like about certain outfits, and key in on that. The two practical tips or the two things I can tell you how to focus on that help me dress better is focusing on the colors of my outfits and the fit of my outfits. When I notice that I can buy a certain item or certain piece that I like and put it on and it don't look the same because of the fit, that's when I learned like fit is very important. So you don't have to spend thousands of dollars or tons of money on outfits. I watched Dami, and he said that you can go get a white tee or a black tee, gets you some jeans or some cargos or some camo shorts, sweat shorts, get you some shoes that can match it that don't look too crazy, and you look put together like you don't look crazy, right? It's all about how it's fitting you at the end of the day. And colors, if you want to get a little more advanced, I like colors that complement each other, like earth tones. Like there's different tones of browns that you can wear with each other. A white and gray goes great together. White and black can go good together. And understanding accessories and the color of those, like you can wear a black T-shirt with a gold chain, and the gold chain will pop a little bit more. So, just really taking the time and being intentional. Everything in life that you want to get to is always going to be behind intention and moving with purpose, and actually taking action with a goal in mind or with something at the end of it. But that's just going to be the clothing aspect of your physical appearance. Of course, I'm always say hygiene, right? Always get haircuts as long as if you can, right? If you don't have the money to get your haircuts on the regular, I think you're worried about the wrong thing. Um, personally, now you can get girls without having a haircut or whatever. But if you want to attract the most, like to the best of your ability, and you also have to know what you want to attract. Like y'all aren't trying to attract bummy girls or girls who don't care about themselves. You want to attract a girl that you can benefit from, and you have to be the person to attract that in the first place. And from what I found, taking care of yourself, taking care of your hygiene, it just shows self love. And when you take care of yourself, you can attract people that can take care of you as well. They see that you don't play about yourself. They see that you take care of yourself and that you value yourself just based off of your actions and how you present yourself, right? You don't talk to a guy in a suit like you talk to a guy that's in some jeans and a hoodie outside of the corner store. Like you just, it's a different level of respect when you see somebody who is in a suit and well dressed. And whether that's your homie or not, it's like code switching or whatever. That's how important your appearance can be in every situation. So, taking care of your hygiene, taking care of your appearance in general. Like if you don't want a clean look or attract a clean girl, nigga, you know what you want. I was reviewing an Instagram earlier this week, right? And I can see his aesthetic, his style, right? He's in the anime, he's in the opium. That's not my style. And I told him like, you can shoot your shot with this Instagram, but you just have to understand what girls are gonna go for this, right? A girl that is gonna go for that has to be a girl that likes anime, a girl that likes opium. Because a girl that doesn't like that stuff, she's not gonna be attracted to it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to understand what you're putting out and what you can get from what you put out. All right, so that's my little rant on building your physical attraction. It's just about much of like taking care of yourself. Like your first, make sure your shoes are clean too. Women look at your shoes, just keep them clean. They don't even got to be the best. Keep them clean. They look at your face and then they look at your shoes. Keep your shoes clean, bro. Um, but do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I say thing with physical attraction too, man, is you want to have a masculine physique. That's one thing I talk about too. Um, Now, a lot of dudes, y'all get where dudes be messing up is they think that masculine physique is what we think look good as a man. Like well, if we see a dude that look like what's his name, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like
Yeah,
super buff or something, we'd be like, oh, that's what girls want. Now, some girls do want that, but you don't have to look like that. Most women, there's a few different archetypes of what they want. They like some women like guys that's super lean, like you might be skinny but you cut, right? Other women like dudes that got some solid muscle and he might not be super buff. Some women do like dudes that got muscle and maybe he do got a little bit of fat on his body, but he's still sculpted. Like he gotta have arms in a certain way. So the key areas usually in physique is like solid arms, chest, back. You know what I'm saying? Those type of areas is important for most women. But then there are still gonna be women that really want you to have a six pack or they won't deal with you. That's a small percent though. So if you just work out, have a physique, you don't look like a weakling, pretty much. Girls are girls are find you attractive. So I say that because I just don't want guys to go too far. Like dudes be thinking, oh, that mean I got to be 8% body fat. I got to starve myself every day. Like, nah, you don't got to do that, but you do need to present with a masculine physique and look strong. That's the main thing,
I'm
right?
glad
And,
you
and
touched up on that.
what, right, yeah, and what type of body it is it's gonna vary because, like I said, some girls they do want Idris Elba, super buff, right? Some girls they don't care about that. They just want you to look lean and cut. Some girls want you
Some
to be in
girls
the
like
middle.
big
Some girls,
niggas because they feel protect
that's what I'm
because
saying.
it's the perception of it. Go ahead.
Ah, no, no, exactly. I was about to say that. Like my homeboy, he like 6'3". Now he's a tall dude, but he was a D lineman in high school, right? And so he got a gut and stuff like this, but it's not the sloppy. He don't take care of himself. When you play, he was varsity, so they put them on a plan to eat like 8 times a day, and they got to eat certain meals and stuff. They scope them to be built like that, so that so they on the D line, right? And so girls still like him though, because he was bench pressing, working out. So even though it's like, oh no, nah, he looks soft to maybe to a dude might be like, oh, I wouldn't want to look like that. Girls liked it. Girls like, oh, that's I don't see him, man. My dude, he get a whole bunch of girls. And they like that look though. It's like not sloppy, but it's like, oh, he's still big. But it's because there's still muscle there. And when they feel him, it's like, dang, he's a big guy. Like you said, girls be liking that. Like, oh, I feel like I can be protected by that. So don't limit your outlook on physique. Don't have the male view on it, which is like a lot of dudes be like, oh, you got to be buff and cut with looking like an anime character from Dragon Ball Z. You know, that's like the ideal look. That's to us. You got to understand that there's different archetypes that girls is looking for, but usually they all gonna come from some form of being strong. You see what I'm saying? As a man, that's really it.
I want to piggyback on that because, well, there's so many things I could talk about that. Because there are so many girls that like or there's so many different body archetypes that women can like. We should strive for what we like at the end of the day, what we're going to be happy with, right? So, I mean, if you want to get super buff like a fucking anime character, that
Right.
if that makes you happy, do that. But when you do that, you can't have the expectation that that's going to make you attractive to every girl. You're just going to attract a girl that likes that type of body type, right? And you can
Right.
go to locations where a girl might like that body type and meet women there, aka a gym. I think we heard that from Afi Kingdom, right? It's a common interest thing. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that all gym women are going to like that, but she may like a guy that work out, and it may be beyond the fact that you're that big. It could be the discipline and the fact that you're there every day, and she can it could be, it's way beyond just the physical attraction. But when it comes to physical attraction, understand that you're not going to be everybody's type. But if you can
Right.
choose who you want to be, you're going to be multiple people's type once you're comfortable in being who you want to be.
Right. And I've experimented. Like I'm probably right now, I'm probably like 190 something. Right now.
Mm.
Right. And it's crazy because I be experimenting on purpose. Like, see, that's nothing. I mean, we ain't talking about that, but that's nothing that Vaughn probably tell y'all all the time. You can't be afraid to experiment. Now, I'm not saying you gotta experiment with your weight, but I'm just telling you that's how fearless I am. Like, if I want to eat a lot and start gaining weight, that doesn't keep me away from talking to girls. And I'll be trying to pay attention to how they respond. Like, that's how I learned a lot from just my own experimentation, not taking what's in the book or what some one dude was saying. I take a little bit from here and
Everybody,
there,
yep.
and then I test it myself. So right now I'm like 190 something. Last year, I was like during the summer, I was probably about 165, and I had my abs and everything. Like if you go look at any videos I posted around last year, I was way more lean, right? Way more cut because I was going hard in the gym. I was eating a certain way. Now I still work out. I never stop working out, but I and some of y'all probably notice I be eating more, right? But see, in my mind, I'm not like, oh, I gotta fit a certain image. I feel comfortable right now, and when they want to change, I'm gonna change. You know what I'm saying? I'll just do something different. But what I be experimenting with is seeing how women respond. Personally, I done noticed that women, when I'm at this weight, they be like, oh, you seem like such a grown man now, right? With how my body is and stuff like this. And so I say that to say, not that this is better or that the other one is worse. It's like what Vaughn said, it's about what's cool for you. And if you wear that and you own it, then
They
you
gonna
deal with a
like
girl,
it.
they not gonna they gonna like it. Like some of y'all, man, um, maybe you really want to lose weight, so go ahead and lose weight. But for some of y'all, you can't judge the next man that don't care that he might be a little overweight. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I am, right? I'll be with a chick, even if I don't got my abs, I'll take off my shirt. She might say something, and I just laugh. I'm like, shit, it's fat boy season, and I'm getting it in with her. You see what I'm saying? It don't matter. Like
It's
you
the
gotta own
comfort
that shit. You
right
gotta
there.
be. That's yeah. It's like you gotta be confident in yourself. And so it's different strokes for different folks. For some of y'all, you feel your best personally when you a lot leaner. So if that's how you feel, do that. But some of y'all, you like, I don't feel like I gotta conform to that as long as I'm in the gym, whatever. I like being a bigger dude. Then that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? It's just about you and where you feel your best. And always know that there is gonna be women that's gonna reciprocate how you feel about yourself first and foremost. They're gonna reciprocate that back to you. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
That's exactly what I was saying. And taking care of yourself, just showing yourself that you care, like you, like, I don't know, this is just my belief, right? I take care of myself. I keep my area clean, my space clean. I need everything just because, like, I value what I have. I want everybody around me to value what I have. I don't want you to come over here and get comfortable with dirtying up my room because my room is dirty. No, I want you to understand that I value this, and and if you want to be here, yeah. And if you don't want to do it how I do it, I'll tell you, and I'll just read it. This is another story. But
Yeah.
that's that's my physical attraction. And it's important that y'all continue to just stay here and listen, because it's a lot more things beyond this that will really get you to the girl, or get you the girl, or get the girl to want you, or whatever. Um, and it can supersede physical attraction sometimes. Like, just the fact that she could say something about him having his shirt off, and he said, "It's Fat Boy Steven," laughing it off and getting to it regardless. That's another level of attraction that's beyond the physical attraction, which we're going to get to.
Right.
But I just wanted to let y'all know, this is not the only thing. That's why the looks maxing
Right.
videos, the going to the gym, that shit is not going to help you. That shit not going to save you at all.
Right. It's not gonna save facts. It's not gonna save you. Like it can help you, but if you only focus on that and you neglect other facets of life or facets of attraction and other things,
Yeah.
you're gonna be cooked still. It ain't
Yeah.
gonna matter.
Yep. All right. So that's it for my first portion. We're gonna actually hold questions to the end. You mind doing like a 10-minute Q&A when we done?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So the next topic is going to be Y&D's topic. We're going to be covering sexual attraction.
All right, all right, all right. I got the floor. I'm good to
Yes,
go. You know what I'm saying?
all you, brother.
All right. So this is one that I personally think that a lot of people overlook and a lot of guys conflate and don't understand. All right. So a lot of guys don't understand the difference between physical attraction or platonic attraction. And there's other types of attraction too. I like to say there's over 7 different types of ways a woman can be attracted to you. And there's multiple ways she can be attracted to you at once. The more the better, obviously. But a lot of guys misunderstand and conflate physical attraction for sexual attraction. This is where all the looks max in, and it's all about height and how you look. You know, that's where that shit comes from. So guys think, and this is the biggest misconception about dating, and this was stopping you probably or some of y'all from getting the women that y'all want and having it go how you want. A lot of guys think that because you're physically attractive, because you look max or you whatever, you look like a Chad or a Tyrone or whatever, guys think that that automatically equals sexual attraction, and it does not. All right. So sexual attraction is going to constitute um, your look. So your look is part of it, but it's
Right.
not the whole thing. And then also, I like to say your behavior is part of sexual attraction. How do you act and how do you not act? That's going to determine if a woman views you as sexually attractive or if you're not. And then also how you talk to her and how you don't talk to her, right? So just to keep it simple, if you're very physically attractive, but you're unconfident, you're afraid of making sexual advances, you overthink what you should and shouldn't say to her. You see what I'm saying? Like if you're thinking like this, let's say you let her lead the interaction, you don't know how to plan dates like a man, you're not the leader, right? If you don't know, if those type of behaviors constitute being sexually attractive. And so if you're not that but you look good, the girl still won't be sexually attracted to you and she will not want to sleep with you. A lot of guys think, oh, she told me I was handsome. Being handsome is not a one-to-one ratio of translating to get into the bedroom with this girl. That's where a lot of guys misunderstand. So I like to talk about the sexual attraction. So let me go even deeper with that. All right. So a woman could find you physically attractive, meaning that she's attracted. So first you got to understand what attraction is. Attraction is just her being pulled towards you. The adjective that I'm putting in front of the word determines what she's pulled towards. So just hear it. If she's physically attracted to you, that means she's just interested in your physicality of how you look, your bone structure, your genetics, your body. But if she's sexually attracted to you, that means that she actually will want to hook up with you. You see what I'm saying? So it's 2 different things right there. Now, like I said, part of being sexually attractive is your look, but it's not the whole thing. And that's why you still got to have a mouthpiece. You still got to know how to talk to the girl. You still got to know how to have a conversation. You still got to know how to flirt with her. You see, you got to have these things there for her to actually be turned on by you and for you to get the juices flowing. You see what I'm saying? That's where guys mess up a lot of times. They think, oh, it's just the look. Oh, no, my look don't matter. It's just the mouthpiece. No, all of that has to go together for you to be sexually attractive in her eyes. Now, I don't know how you teach Vaughn, but I'm just
Go
saying
ahead.
how
I
I
love
do it.
this. This is perfect. Go ahead.
So one thing I like to teach guys is when women meet you, I don't want to put this. Okay, I'm gonna just keep it real simple. So when women first meet a guy, the first thing that happens, I'm gonna map it out like a timeline. So the first thing that goes through their mind is, am I interested or am I not? If she's not interested, she's gonna reject you. Or if it's a dating app or something, she won't swipe on you. She won't. If it's Instagram, she won't respond. That's not interested. The other thing is, I am interested. Now, this is where a lot of guys don't understand it. So a lot of guys assume, oh, she texted me back, oh, she took my number. That must mean that she wants to sleep with me or she wants to get there. It doesn't always mean that, because within her being interested, there's three different levels of interest. You got a girl she has low interest in you. Now, notice again, it's in the word. She's still interested, but it's just low interest. A lot of times, this is going to translate to a girl only being platonically interested in you. She just want to be your friend, right? Then there's going to be medium interest. This girl is more interested than the low interest girl. She has like okay, we can see where this could go. Maybe if it's there, we might be able to get together. But if it's not, it is what it is. She got like a kind of take it or leave it, I'll live attitude. But then you're going to have the high interest girls. These are going to be the girls that y'all know what that's like. It's like, dang, she really liked me off rip, right? And then within this interest, when she's interacting with you, she's going to judge you as either sexually attractive or not sexually attractive. And that's because women, they're always getting talked to and approached by guys their whole life, right? And most dudes either demonstrate that they're sexually attractive, they know, meaning they know how to talk to women, they know how to get the juices flowing, they know how to flirt and take it there, they're confident, they're more direct, honest, and all of that. Or there's going to be guys that are not sexually attractive. These are the guys that exhibit passive type of behavior. They're overly focused on doing what's necessary to get the girl instead of being authentic and letting the girl conform or be aligned with them. And they're going to be more indirect. So these are going to be your nice guys. These are going to be your guys that they they're afraid to kiss a girl. They're looking for signs 100% from her. They don't want to do. She got to damn near tell them, hey, it's okay for us to hook up, which a girl will not do. Just so y'all know, most of the time they won't do that. And so when you act like that, you're not direct. You're not telling her what it is, that you're trying to get to. You don't flirt with her. You don't make it known that, hey, look, I do. Even, and it's the thing where guys get it wrong. Some guys think, oh, but why indeed? I want to actually have a real relationship with her. I don't just want to smash. Understand, you can communicate both at the same time. How hard is it to tell a girl that you actually want a relationship, that you also want to do XYZ sexual thing with her or something? You can do both. A lot of people think you got to negate one for the other. That's not true. It's actually better for you to discuss both. And the reason why is because you want to present yourself as a holistic individual when you're talking to her. You don't want to ignore any part of yourself. So, for example, when you see a girl, you know you would sleep with her if everything was right. So why would you hide that part of yourself or that desire from her? I like to tell guys, even that is partially being inauthentic because you're actually hiding a part of yourself from this girl, right? But then you can also still tell her that you want to go on a date or that you want to get to know her if that's what you really mean. Say what you really mean. You can do both. You need to do both because the guys that are too passive and they never talk about sex or anything that get her feeling that way or get her mind imagining you and her in that scenario, she's going to put you in the category of all the other guys that are too afraid to be direct and keep it real with women. Now you're one of those simps, betas that's sexually unattractive. That's how she's going to look at it. Because she knows that there's guys out here that get right to the point very early on. And just because, and I'm going to keep saying it, just because you get right to the point does not mean that that's all you want. And if you actually have a mouthpiece, you know how to articulate to a woman, I want this and that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the woman is going to respect that. And it's actually going to turn her on, right? Because you are in that category of guys who will talk to her in that way compared to most dudes who are afraid and nervous to even bring up sex or be direct or you see what I'm saying? Like all of that type of stuff, right? And the last thing I'm gonna say, and then you can chime in if you got something you want to say, is when it comes to sexual attraction, you have to learn to differentiate and understand that these girls
Thanks for the follow, Rob.
are not your homeboys. But what I notice is a lot of dudes want to talk to a girl the same way that they would talk to their girl cousin, their sister, or one of their homies. You cannot do that. Now, this isn't teaching you to fake and act like you got a deeper voice or a low tonality to that extent, like you're not that. What I like to tell dudes is do it in a way that's natural to you, right? So if you see how Vaughn talked to a girl or me, you might be like, dang, that feel kind of weird for me to do. You might feel cringe doing that. That's fine. But what you need to pick up on is not the specific thing that we saying or the exact tone or note that we hit in our vocal octave when we got lower. Pay attention to the vibe and the way that we're interacting with women. You see what I'm saying? And you need to recognize that when you're dealing with a woman that you're interested in, you need to know how to talk to her in a way that's creating and building that sexual tension so she can look at you in a romantic way.
Thanks for the follow, J-Ro.
She's not your sister. She's not your homie. You got to set that dynamic. Now, some of y'all still might be thinking, oh, nah, I don't want to be like, I just want to be myself. First off, if you was really honest with yourself, you know you want to sleep with that girl. And the only reason why you're not presenting that type of energy is not because you're being yourself. You're actually being inauthentic and you're afraid of showing what's really in your mind. So let's scratch that right now. The real you does have some, you know, sexual suave to yourself that you want to present, but you're just afraid of it. The real you is the one that would say what he really thinking, not the one that's pretending like, oh, that's just not me. That's cope, so you don't have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's number one. Now, two, you got to understand that just because you got to talk to women that you're interested in a certain way, that's not faking. You can still do it in a way that's authentic to you. But let me ask you this. I bet you don't talk to your boss the same way you would talk to one of your homeboys, do you? I bet you don't talk to your mother or your grandmother in the same tonality, using the same vernacular, lingo, all of that, the same way you would talk to one of your teammates on your football team, do you? So how come you don't look at that and say, oh, I'm faking and being something I'm not? Why don't you look at it like that? No, because in those contexts, your mind would say, no, I'm just talking to my teacher or my professor or my boss or my mother in a way that's appropriate for the dynamic. Okay, let's apply that same logic to when you're dealing with a woman. You can't talk to the girl the same way that you would talk to your homeboy. You can't talk to this girl the same way you would talk to your mother. You have to talk to her respecting the natural dynamic between a man and a woman. You're interested in this girl, so you need to talk to her in a way that conveys that your sexual attraction and energy towards her. That don't mean you got to be desperate. That don't mean you got to be thirsty. It just means that you actually have to have the confidence to say, this girl is not my friend. Now y'all can be friendly, but that y'all not friends, and you don't want to be her friend. You see, so don't set the dynamic up like that. You gotta come at her with your seductive energy and talking to a woman in a certain way so she can look at you in that light. Because if you don't, that's another way you're gonna get friend zoned. You're gonna have all the muscles, be super physically attractive, all of this stuff, and yet and still, when you talk to her, you're talking to her like she your little sister or something. You cannot do that. You can't do that. All right. And that's where guys mess up. You got to have all of it. Talk to her in a way that she can feel from your eye contact and how you looking at her that you are attracted to her in a sexual way or a romantic way. She needs to feel that. Again, you don't got to be over the top with, oh, you look like this and oh my God. You don't got to do that. It's an energy, it's a presence, it's a certain behavior, body language, and a tone of voice that conveys, oh, this dude, he feeling me in that way. Because if you don't do it, you're going to always be in the dark knowing in your mind, yeah, I was smashed, but because you're afraid to present that type of presence and energy or let it be known in any sort of way, you will always be in the dark. Do she want to smash me? You'll never know. And this is where guys get their time wasted, right? And then you blame women. Some guys blame women. Oh, they be wasting niggas' time and this and that. But it's your fault. Why didn't you come at her trying to present what she was trying to offer? You know what I'm saying? That was part of the offer, right? You want to take her out and you would like to get to that if it's there.
Thanks for the follow, Tricky Sam.
Let her know that's how you feeling her. If you don't, she won't. You'll never know how she feel.
That was some game. Now I want to piggyback on that because you gave so much game, right? And I know it automatically came to my mind. Like they hear what you're saying, right? So they like, well, like I want to tell her, right? But they like, no, how do I tell her? So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in right here. This is my area right here. So I feel like I can represent y'all here because I was once in that position of, well, I know what I need to do, but I don't know how I need to do it, right? And what taught me was me actually fucking up, right? So I've had my experiences of connecting with a girl, getting her emotionally. She was physically attracted to me. The vibe was there, but I had been sexual, but the way I delivered it it kind of just messed up the whole mood and messed up the whole entire vibe, right? So here's what I learned. I'm gonna tell y'all how y'all can romantically increase your attraction, and then once you got that romantic attraction, it makes the sexual attraction 10 times easier, because at the end of the day, we're humans. We all get horny and we all get hungry. We damn, the romantic attraction is going to come from flirting, right? So I feel like a lot of the guys who get friend zoned are very scared to say what they want. Like you said, you have to say what you want, and they are scared to do it because they feel like they don't know how to do it. So here's a tip. Just try it. You have to take actions to see if it works for you or not. But I like innuendos. I like innuendos for letting girls know my interest, and I also like letting using innuendos to letting girls know my sexual interest. So innuendos, for those who don't know, or an innuendo is basically another word for a hint or a context clue. I like to say fill in the blank. Some people may say it's beating around the bush. It's not beating around the bush, because if you're not talking to an idiot, she's going to pick up on what you're putting down, and it's going to sound more smooth because it's not overly thirsty, and it was kind of smooth, like how you tied it into whatever y'all was talking about, right? Um,
It's playful.
it's playful.
Yeah.
It makes a more relaxed vibe. It fits the vibe way more. Because if you look up the definition of flirting, being flirtatious is literally in the definition a playful vibe, right? So when you assert an innuendo into your conversation sexually and just romantically, telling her your interest or your sexual interest, it's making it clear without making it clear. But that's your mouthpiece, where it's like, damn, I would have never thought of that. It's just natural. I'm using what's given to me to insinuate what I want, right? And at the end of the day, what you're doing is just testing temperature. You're just throwing out a fish hook with some bait on it, and we're just testing to see how our reaction is at the end of the day. But until you take that action, you're not going to actually recognize what me and Y and D are talking about. But as far as the friend zone, another way that you could do this, and y'all could probably steal this if y'all want to. I know some of y'all are going to do it anyway. Um, every time I came across an attractive girl, I never gave friend vibe anyway, but I always wanted to make sure that it was clear, right? I didn't had a couple of girls add me to their close friends on Instagram, and I didn't know them. So I said, one girl I was like close friends already. I'm like, oh, I'm a close friend now. Like I'll ask questions to get them to answer, to get them to engage. And then one girl was like, yes, and then I was like, well, that's gonna be a problem. Get her to. She want to know why. What's the problem? Well, I can't be friends with pretty girls. My intentions aren't pure. Like I'm telling her,
Ah,
like like my intentions aren't friendly. Like I can't have an attractive female friend. Like my intentions aren't friendly. Like you look too good to be just my friend, right? And at that point, and at that very moment, she knows that if anything going forward, it's not going to be no friendly shit, right? Even in person, I said that to a girl where the vibe was there, we talking, we flirting, but she like, nah, you my friend. I'm like, whoa, we not friends. Like we could be cool or not. It's really up to you. But at the end of the day, we not friends. Like I don't find my friends attractive, so or at least I'm not interested in none of my friends, and I'm interested in you. So we can't do that.
hey,
Like
yo, I be saying the same thing,
yeah,
bro.
it's just like I'm making it clear, and it's not like
Uh,
I want you, I want to fuck you. Nah, it's like right, like let your intention be known, but until you actually take that action to fail and like, damn, I fucked up there. Like I had a humiliating moment with that girl, like one of the girls I told you earlier. Like that shit was humiliating to me because I felt like I'm suave, like I'm super smooth. Like that shit wasn't supposed to happen. It was awkward. Nah, I talked my way
right.
out of it, but I learned from it. Like okay, yes, I want to let my intentions be known and be clear, but there are ways to do it. And for me, a guy who would hesitate on speaking what he or saying his mind and speaking on what he wants, the best way to do it is in a playful way, innuendos, joking around, testing the temperature. Just see how they react, right? And over time, you're gonna see what work, and then your delivery is gonna become more confident. And girls, you're gonna realize that girls really just fall in line. Like really, girls really fall in line.
Yeah, and the key too is you got to make sure it's authentic to you. Like, there's a lot of ways you can flirt. You can be a jokester. You could be, the real smooth dude. You could be real playful, or and me, I'll talk to Vaughn about this before. But as Vaughn know, I am real direct with how I say stuff,
Yeah,
right?
he is.
But that actually works for me though. Like, so Like, okay, so I just had a situation where the whole like we can't be friends type thing, or you know, you like how you said that. Now I'm gonna tell you what I said though. Now that this might be too bold for some people, but I know some of y'all that's watching, this might resonate more with you. You know, you might be like, yo, I don't want to say all that others. I want to say it like this. So this girl, she had that I had just met, she texted me and said, yo, this is blank. She said, yo. So I responded, I said, yo. I said, we not friends and I'm not your homeboy. I said, don't be doing that. That was my first response to her. And she said, so what are we then? I said, there's no title yet. I said, but I can tell you one thing. I don't my friends. That's what I told her straight up, right? And she responded to that super positive. It's, in fact, I ain't gonna get into it because I don't know what I can say on Twitch. I don't stream. I'm not a streamer, so
All right,
I ain't trying to get me messed up.
there we go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. But basically, yeah, long story short, what I'm saying is you can be that direct, but you gotta still know how to read the situation. So what I don't do is go up to a girl and say, "Hey, I'm Y&D. I would like to fuck you." Like that's stupid. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not gonna work. That's just not gonna work. Um, so it's stuff like that. But if you want to be a little bit more vulgar in those moments, you can, but it still got to make logical sense based off what's been said or whatever. In fact, I like to encourage like if you really want to get a girl's imagination going, thinking about you, learn how to uh, get her mind thinking about the sexual acts, right? Without having to directly say it. The way you do that is if you know how to flirt in a sexual way. Now, this is some game right here. A way you can do this in a strong way. Now you can do it more subtly, but personally, the way I like to do it is I am more bold, right? I just have fun doing it like that. That's why I do that. I really don't care how the girl is gonna respond. I kind of like just for my own enjoyment and just being my authentic self. I like to say something crazy and be looking at her like, what's she gonna say back? That'd be the fun part. Whether they say no or yes, that's just what's fun to me. So I'll say something that's blatantly sexual about a sexual related type of body part. You see what I'm saying? So notice again, it's in the name, sexually flirting with her. So you want to talk about something that automatically would make most people think about sex. So what are some body parts like that? It could be her lips. You could say something about her neck and then neck kisses or something. You could say something, right? You could say something about her butt. You could say that. Now, and you can get even more vulgar. Obviously, we know the actual direct, sexual organs. If you want to go that far, you can. That's for some of y'all, you're gonna be too nervous to do that. But start with the other
The
stuff I'm
foreplay
saying.
is
One
great.
thing that I
That was
yeah,
great.
like one thing I would do, like when I'm on a date with a girl, and I do this just this is part notice how this is gonna be playful and funny. So like if I'm at a bar with a girl and she's sitting next to me and she close to me, she talking, we getting to know each other. I might have a period where I stop and just look at her lips for a minute and then she might have asked me a question. She's waiting for me to answer, and I looked at her lips, and I'm like, "Huh? What you say?" I'm like, "My fault. I got shit, your lips, so they distracted me." I might say something like that, but that's already putting her in that mindset of like what I'm focused on, and that's a flirty type of thing. And I'm basically saying, "Oh, I lost my attention on what you were saying because of your lips, or because how thick you are, or something." Now, again, notice I say that when I just met a girl. I'm already on a date with her, so
Right.
obviously you see what I'm saying? She already is clearly into me and sitting close to me. So it's appropriate to say. So you still got to have discernment and know how to talk to women and when the right time to say. You can't be a weirdo about it in a desperate way. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to offer to you guys is that you can be more bold and direct. It's just time and place for all of it. Like if you want, you can start with an innuendo, see that she responds to that positively, and then be more direct in the way that I'm saying, and then really take it there. You can play around with it. It's not a
Combos.
one size fits all type of thing.
Combos. Yes. Just like how he said, the seven types of attraction, 7 ways she can be attracted to you. The more the better. It's always the for the most part, the more the better. Using your combos, like boom, boom, boom. And one thing he said is it's natural to him. Like he enjoys it. Like he didn't take that from somebody and just do it. Well, maybe he did take it from somebody and just do it, but when he did it, it was natural to him. He enjoyed it. He got the result he wanted, and that's how you're gonna learn. Like a lot of the things that I implemented, I learned from somewhere else. I tried it, it worked. Some things I tried, it didn't work. I know what not to do and what to do. And the most important
Right.
part about this is you will experience more women, which you can pick up on the vibes. Where it's like all it takes is for you to have one or two girls that actually like you while you actually understand this information to now understand what that vibe is like. Because any other vibe that's not
Right.
like that vibe, you're gonna realize like, okay, she not fucking with me, and I'm not fucking with
Right.
her.
Exactly.
So that's the most important part, actually taking that action, but also just doing things that feel true to you, not what Y&D and Vaughn said. Although we be giving game, but at the end of the day, all our game came from our experience, and
Right.
you gonna be able to give game once you get your experience as well. So definitely apply the things that y'all learning. If y'all want to do my innuendo way, try that first. But the innuendo way, that I feel like that's a safer way because it allows you, like you said, to
It
read the
is.
room.
It is. Yeah.
A lot of y'all are scared. If y'all want to take the safe route, take the safe route. But there still has to be a level of boldness in your innuendo, like at the end of the day, to so that your intention is clear. And like he said, once I know things are like it's clear. I'm like, all right, is she going? Like this cool. Then I can hit her. I can hit her with the direct, and then I could. Some days I might hit her with a direct randomly. Some days I might hit her with innuendo, direct, innuendo. Hit her with a combo. Like I don't know. Just like it just keeps it fun, keep it vibing. You know, it's I don't want to say unpredictable because niggas will be like, you can't be predictable. You got to be unpredictable. But
Right. Right.
bruh,
Yeah.
it's like not the same shit. Like keep it fun. I know I said we were going to do a Q&A 10 minutes after, but I'm going to do a little intermission and ask them two questions. The first two questions I see in chat, we're going to answer them, and then we're going to get to the last 3 points. My next point isn't going to be too deep because the last 2 points going to be hitting. The last 2 points are going to be hitting. They said innuendos is perfect for like a first date for me when she like halfway comfortable. Yes, exactly. Like innuendos are perfect for the very beginning. Like I said, it's just we're just testing the water, testing the temperature. We just want to see how she reacts. Is she gonna give us that positive vibe or a negative vibe? But in order for you to recognize it, you actually have to experience it, get in the field. All right, first question. Uh, how do I gain experience from a small town? I don't meet that many women every day. Before I can answer that, I would like more questions. I don't think I'm from a small town, but YD, do you have any? I would like to know one, how old are you? Like, are you in high school? Um, okay, I'll say this: regardless of how old you are and what you do, you, you can obviously you're 19. You're gonna have more experiences in bigger areas, especially the more you go out if you go to the right locations. However, I will say this: you have to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves because you never know when you're going to see a girl that you actually find attractive or a girl you actually like. Them random days, like I said, the one of the places that I got the most girls when I was single was me door dashing. I picked up a girl delivering to her house. I done picked up a couple of workers, waitresses, hostess. I done picked up a girl inside of a restaurant. Like it's I was in my day-to-day life. What I don't want you to do is looking for locations to go find girls. That's thirsty. You're already starting in a bad headspace, in a bad mental. Now YD can say something else. He may have a location. But for me and how I know y'all niggas think, I don't think that's healthy for y'all. Like y'all already starting like, I'm going here to go chase this girl. I'm going here to go find some girls. Like, no. Like the guys who get the girls, for the most part, they not going to go try to get the girl. They just understand, like, they understand what a vibe is like, what a good vibe is like. When they catch on a good vibe, they attack. They aren't scared to show their interest. They aren't scared to exchange information. They aren't scared to say what they want to say. And it's because they recognize the energy and things like that. So take advantage, bro. You could be going U19, I don't know, like a DoorDash if you got money. You could be at work. Don't be afraid to talk to, like, you have to talk to the people you actually want to talk to and just try it and experience. You're going to come across a girl that's going to like you. And that's all the experience you need because from here on out, you now know what it looks like and you now know what you did and you can continue to do those things. Do you have a question? The question was, how do I gain experience from a small town? I don't meet that woman. We meet that many women every day.
Well, I mean, my first thought too was like, I mean, what do you do every day? I don't need you to answer that because I'm about to just just cover all your bases. But some of you guys, y'all don't go out the house at all. Like y'all sit in the house all the time. So yeah, you don't meet that many women. You're not doing nothing to meet women. You don't go outside for real. You don't touch grass. So how you gonna touch ass if you never touch grass? You got to go out first before you meet the bitch.
Yeah.
Now that's the first thing. Now the next thing is this. Um, you got to take all the opportunities you get. Like Vaughn said, maybe there is less women, but what you can't do is be a hoe about it and talk yourself out of it or get too nervous and not take whatever do come your way because that's all you be getting. You see what I'm saying? That's another thing I would say. Also, you might want to utilize dating apps or something and see what girls is around your area. Another thing, maybe what I would say is this: I don't want you to go start driving city to city trying to find girls because if it's that hard where you live locally, like let's say it's really that hard. Let's say you do go out and it's just like I'm just in a small rural area, bro. Like it ain't that many people over here. Then what you need to do is stack your bread and make a plan to move to a bigger city. And that's what you're gonna have to do. You gotta don't be like, oh, that means I'm moving to cities to another city for girls. No, you can move to another city for more life experience. So
Career,
you don't have
yeah.
to look at it like it's just for girls. It could be for career, it could be for life experience, it could be to meet new people, to be exposed to a different culture. If you grew up in a small town, you're probably very confined and limited in your life perspective anyway. Right. So going to a bigger city can help you evolve and become a different person and be the person you really meant to be and also there's going to be girls there that you can meet. You see what I'm saying? So stack your bread. You might have to work out some numbers, crunch some numbers to see how much you would need to, for an apartment or whatever. To see, look at some cities and see where you want to go and how much the cost of living is there, and then actually come up with a formidable plan where you're like, I'm gonna work this much, stack this paper, and I'm going move from my city in the next year. You might have to do that before you're able to get all the experience. And maybe in the meantime, you just got to stick with DMing girls online and trying to get the experience you can
Yeah.
just to stay comfortable and familiar with dealing with attractive women and talking to them so you don't get too rusty, you know what I mean? Or feel too nervous when you finally do move. Some of y'all might, if you're young, maybe college is on the way. Maybe you can enroll in college that's somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And then you could be in a bigger city that way. But you got to brainstorm and you got to figure it out, bro. Because if you really go out and you don't see that many women that's around your age or the demographic you like or whatever, I mean, what is there to do except stay there and cry about it? Or you gotta say, okay, this is my situation. I'm gonna work harder, go to another city, and instead of just thinking narrow, like, oh, it's just for girls. No, let's be open to life surprising you. You're gonna go to the city and meet dudes you didn't know, have opportunities you didn't know. You're gonna grow in ways you didn't know, be exposed to different cultures and mindsets that's gonna help you grow. So that's a big thing to go to another city. So it's not just for girls. That's that's the main advice I have. And I definitely agree with Vaughn. I don't want you to start thinking you gotta drive around, 40, 50, 60 miles to the next city to start talking to girls. If it's that difficult, you probably need to fix your priorities anyway and get your money up and move.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say for for the time being, that's 100% correct. For the time being, while you stacking up, yeah, I would double down on dating apps, social media. And I would say if you and okay, I would say that, and if there's any local colleges, if you know people there, I think pulling up to a random local college, you don't know nobody there, that's strange to me. But if you have a friend that goes to a local college, they have certain events, but go hang out with them, see what they're doing. And then as far as
Right, yeah.
dating apps and things are online, I dropped a video on this, so I'm not gonna go too deep. You can go check it out on YouTube. But dating apps and social media, shooting your shot on there is a looks game. It's a perception game. Like they don't know how
Yeah.
you are. They don't know the type of conversation you can have. So present your best self. Like I don't want to say catfish. You're not catfishing. It's you. But watch the video I dropped. It's a looks game, and you wanna put your best self out there without overdoing it.
I got a video too where I was talking about like dating apps and specifically like Instagram and stuff. But I will say is this though, it is your looks, but it's going to be about what you want to do is you got to convey the image that represents you the best. Now
Yes.
remember I was talking earlier about being sexually attractive. What a lot of guys struggle with, even if they are physically attractive, is they don't know how to take pictures that highlights themselves in a sexually attractive way. That's very important because
Exactly.
see, the girl is she don't know nothing about your substance, what you about. She don't know your manner of conversation. To be honest, all she gonna think to herself is, do I like how he look? In conjunction with, and also, is this the type of guy that I can see myself hooking up with? That's all she gonna have to judge. That's it. So that's not her being shallow. It's that the medium to which she's even coming across you is limited to just those two factors. Are you physically attractive and are you sexually attractive? That's the only thing she has. So
Mhm.
I do think that some dudes they do all the looks max and stuff, and they might wear really nice clothes, but are the clothes or the angles highlighting them in a way that makes them look sexually attractive? And that's where I like to talk about that a lot because um, that's where guys be like, oh, that's corny or cringe. But sometimes I do like F boy type photos and stuff like this. Now, to a dude, that might be corny and cringe. I ain't doing this for you, nigga. So you see what I'm saying? Like, who cares? The girls be responding to that, and they not gonna look at it like that. They look at it and say, oh, I can actually see his arms, I can see his physique, the way he's looking at the camera. This dude would probably do me in. You know what I mean? And that's all she has to go off of. Now that got her to respond, and now she can actually see that you're more mature, that you got stuff going on. You see what I'm saying? And then that can open it up. But you ain't gonna get to that if she don't feel that feeling from when she's looking at you. So a lot of it is marketing, right? Trying to
Perception.
present yourself that highlights you in a certain way, right?
Yep. That's literally what it is. Like, cause reviewing something on Instagram that little shy, full body outfit, terrible lighting, looking down like this, playing with your hair like this, like a couple of slides, and you ain't got one picture of your face. How she gonna tell what you look like? All that's telling her is this nigga not confident in how he look. Like
Right.
I know some medium ugly niggas who watch me. I ain't gonna say no name, but the nigga know who he is because he claim it. But he posts himself and is confident.
That's
The nigga
facts.
don't got no problem. He has no problem pulling girls because he has everything. Like it's everything that we're covering today. He understands it and he's confident and he
The
accepts
same
how he
thing on
is.
dating apps too.
That's yeah. It's literally I like to look at shit. Social media. If you're not gonna treat it like social media, you're probably gonna treat it like a dating app. I feel like a lot of people treat it like a dating app. So,
I feel like you should look at it though, like you trying to advertise
yeah, it's
yourself and what you
marketing.
offering the best. Like, yeah, like look at it like if you see somebody can have the best burgers in town, but if you see the photo and it looked like uh the Krabby Patty sandwich when it fell under the on the
Yeah,
SpongeBob episode and it looked like shit. I don't know if y'all know.
yeah,
I used to watch a lot of SpongeBob, but if it looked like that, the lighting is bad, it don't look appetizing.
yeah.
Your assumption, because that's all you got, is oh, it must not be. That's how people think, right? So what you want is to present it the best way so that they can actually want to go taste and consume the burger. Otherwise, they're gonna be like, "What's the point? It looked nasty." You see, so that's very, very important. But it's very, very important. I'm happy I said that. I'm saying it like it wasn't me, but I didn't expect myself to say that. I'm happy I said that because I want to highlight, again, I don't want any of you guys to be bitter or let your struggles in dating turn into projected frustration that you put off on women. Women is shallow. They only want this type of guy. But guess what? You only like food that look good to you. If it look weird and look sickly, you don't
Not
want to eat it, even if
exactly,
it was the best food in the world. But you wouldn't even
exactly.
let yourself do it because your assumption is it can't taste good. Look at how it look. Look at how it smells. How come you not shallow for judging that food like that? You
Right,
see what I'm saying? So, but women is shallow because you smell bad and you look bad and they don't want to get to know you.
right,
Their assumption is it can't be nothing good to you. Now they could be wrong, but you could also be wrong about that sandwich. But you ain't gonna eat no sandwich that look like a shit sandwich. You know what I mean? You're
right.
not gonna do it even if it's the best thing. So just consider that and don't allow yourself to become bitter or angry at women.
Absolutely. I'm gonna skip this question because it's not a great question, but I'm gonna just read it out loud so the nigga can understand how bad this question is. What colors
Okay.
increase sex appeal the most to girls?
I mean, I have looked into this type of psychology. I'm gonna say red, but it's goofy
Women wear
because if you
red.
start putting up, is it women that wear red?
Women wear the red lingerie. They'll wear
I thought it,
the
I thought I thought it was both. I thought both sexes like the red stuff.
All right, maybe the question
Maybe.
wasn't dumb to
Listen,
him,
I
but that
said
shit was
it
dumb to
don't matter
me.
though.
Yeah, that shit was.
No,
It
no,
may not
it's
be dumb.
dumb.
It
No,
was
no,
dumb
it's
to me.
dumb.
I'm be
It
honest
don't
with
matter,
you.
bro. Like if you wear whatever color it say, like let's say it is red or purple, I promise you're not gonna turn into Mr. Bitches
Hold
because you
on.
wearing
Let me show
purple
you
like you
something
from
real
Saints
quick.
Row 2 or something.
Nigga, I done got some ass and these underwear right here, my nigga. These is golf balls
What is
with
that? A
fucking
Santa hat,
Santa.
nigga?
Exactly. That shit don't matter nothing, bruh. Like, you the sex appeal, not what the color you wearing, not what you wearing, bruh. You are the sex appeal. We just had a
Was
whole
that
rant.
Santa?
Yeah. It was golf
Oh, I thought,
balls.
hold on.
It was golf balls with Santa hats.
Oh, she was like, "What are we?" He said, "You a ho ho ho." That's such a
Alright, I'll
That's
skip that
so
question. I'll read this
Oh
one.
man,
I'll read this one. This is a
I
good
don't know
one.
why that's funny.
Sorry, Gio. Your
Yeah.
question is not defined enough. How to set up your shots for women. That shit ain't really defined enough. We'll come back to it
But
at the
read
end.
it. I just want to hear it.
How to set up your shots with women. It's not a bad question. It's just
Yeah,
it's a better question
way
right here.
that's too vague. You gotta be more specific.
Yeah. Would you still say this is the last question for right now? Would you still say you would do the innuendo stuff if you trying to save yourself for marriage? I feel it'd be weird if that not some you do or gonna be doing soon. Okay, I would say this. You can be direct about saving yourself for marriage, and if that's the case, like you can still romantically flirt with innuendos. You just probably wouldn't use it for the sexual tension. But at the end of the day, you still want to create an emotional environment that she wants to be in. It should be fun. It shouldn't be so serious all the time. She should still enjoy your presence, regardless of y'all have sex or not. That's all I have to say
My
on that.
my take on it is this, and you might not like this. What's his name? That asked it.
Tricky Sam.
Tricky Sam. Trick. Good trick. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let me find
He's
out.
tricking and saving
Over
himself for
here.
message. He's tricking and saving himself for marriage, bro.
But this is what I say, bro. You're gonna have to experiment with this. So don't take my word for it. Just hear what I'm saying. Consider this perspective. Hold it with you as you deal with women. I went through this whole saving myself from marriage thing and dealing with a whole bunch of women like that. I'm gonna just tell you the truth. If you, what I like to teach dudes, because I got videos, especially on my Patreon, where I teach them how to date as a religious man. The biggest advice I would give you is if you avoid presenting your sexual self, okay, and you do not cross that line with that girl or establish that, you will not get this girl that hooked or connected to you like you want. I'm just telling you the truth. It's not gonna happen. You cannot ignore any facet that is necessary to build a harmonious, loving relationship with a woman. So what do I mean by that? You can't avoid you. There has to be physical attraction between y'all, but there also needs to be emotional attraction between y'all. You can't ignore and say, okay, forget the physical, I'm just gonna focus on the emotional. Just like you can't do the opposite. Just like you can't sidestep the sexual attraction. You see, there's even levels of intellectual attraction and respect that need to be there between y'all. You have to address every facet of attraction that's necessary for these relationships. So you got to start looking at it and say, look, let me just tell you the truth. You don't need to sleep with her before marriage. If you want to save yourself for marriage and that's how you move, that's fine. I'm not telling you to break that. But what I am telling you is that you can still flirt with this girl and let her know and establish. I like to call it establishing sexual intent. Letting her know that you are sexually attracted through your flirting. You could even hint at stuff you would like to do with her, right? Or that you would do to her. But just always say that once we get married. That's all you gotta say. And
I
don't
can't
do it.
wait for us to get married. I hit her with
That's
that.
what,
She already know what that
that's what I'm
means.
saying.
She know what that
That's what I'm
means.
saying. Yeah, like look, if you did with a girl, because I had this phase. I remember when I was 17, I had a chick like this. Now you might not. I don't know how far you want to go with anything. I feel like I'm Dirk. I'm all time.
Hold on. Yo, Trey. Thanks for the sub, my boy. Oh, keep moving forward. Thanks for the pits and stuff. Thank you.
That's my guy. Let's keep moving forward. That's dope.
Yeah, keep moving forward. 003.
That's my guy.
And
He want to be the
somebody just
mod in
said
my
he about
chat.
to lock in with your about to lock in with your Patreon. The first question we asked, he said, "Young and Disciplined, I'm gonna lock in with your Patreon." That's a bet.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I had this chick, and I was big on waiting until marriage at this time, right? When I was like around 16, 17. That was like my predominant mindset. But what I noticed from talking to a whole bunch of girls is that when you don't bring up, you're not addressing that the elephant in the room of what's drawing y'all together, this sexual attraction, never talking about it, you're gonna create a foundation of a platonic relationship. And so a lot of guys think like, okay, I'm gonna put that off until we get married, and then I'm just gonna introduce it then. You gotta understand that the way you interacting with her from the beginning is forming the idea and the perception that she has of you, right? And so for you to go, let's say you deal with a girl for 2 years before y'all get married, and you go 2 years with never addressing anything related to sex and how you feel about her with that, never flirting with her in those ways, giving her those feelings, never getting the juices flowing. I'm telling you, one, she probably gonna fall off before
Facts.
those 2 years. But even if
Facts.
she didn't, she gonna look at you like a very, very platonic guy, and you're. It's gonna be weird because she might still really like you or have a connection, but it's almost gonna be like through that connection, she's still friend zoning you. You
Right.
see, so you gotta address the elephant in the room. And see, actually,
I like
see,
that.
you might be thinking like, nah, I'm trying to stay disciplined. But my name is Young and Disciplined for a reason. Actually, just think about this. It would take more discipline.
He's
Check this.
cooking.
It takes more discipline for you to address the sex, build the tension, and still have the willpower and the restraint to say, but guess what? We're not gonna do that yet. You see, so it's actually a lazy form of discipline. So you trick your mind and say, oh, I'm being disciplined. I'm avoiding lust. Actually, you're going the weak route because I'll tell you this, it's so much easier to never address it than it is to address it, build it, and then still have the restraint to say, but we're not going to do it. Now, that's a man that stand on principle. You letting her know what it is, you building that, you letting your baby girl know, or the girl you dealing with, that you feeling her in that way, but that she going to have to earn it from y'all getting married, and then it go down. That's a man that got restraint. See, you do that in front of your woman, she know that you ain't gonna be out here cheating. She know, oh man, I never dealt with a guy. That's what she'll be thinking. I've never dealt with a guy like this. He flirted with me. I was enticed. I wanted it, and he told me, hey, the day is coming. You know what I'm saying? We got to get married first. That's a lot more restraint than a dude that never address it. You see what I'm saying? So, like, for example, I'm gonna just keep it real simple, and then I'm gonna pass it back to you, Vaughn, or I'm done if you ain't got nothing to say. Who got more restraint? The guy that can't go to the dessert shop because if he go there, he gonna eat everything, or the guy that can go with his homies and they all eat it and he still say, "Nah, I'm cool. I'm just chilling with my
That guy.
dogs."
That's the goal. That's the goal.
That's what I exactly,
Sometimes you have to take that
exactly.
step of separating from this for a second. I know this is just for the analogy, not for the sexual intent or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes I gotta stay away from certain things so that way I can build that strength. I ain't did it in
Right.
long enough. I ain't really worried about it. And the only way to grow through it is to go through it. Am I right?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yes. Amen. Amen, brother.
All right. We're gonna answer some more questions at the end. This next topic I'm gonna talk about is gonna be very brief, but I feel like it's very, very important. And it's gonna be talking about mental attraction. Mental attraction and emotional attraction. Emotional attraction. I feel like there's a lot that go hand in hand. So I'm literally going to only talk on one topic, and if something pops up, I'll say something about it. But the mental attraction is she attracted to how you think, right? But how do you think? A lot of y'all think lowly of yourselves. Like y'all don't think high of y'all don't think highly of yourselves. And I talked about having a purpose, right? So a lot of guys, especially like people like us, we're told to get our confidence from the inside, internal confidence, right? That's mainly for self-esteem, but I think I came up with a way for us to build that internal confidence, and that is simply from having a purpose outside of a woman, right? So a lot of guys issue where they get attached to a woman so fast, they get validated by women, is because you don't have a purpose that is bigger than the both of you guys, that you can make intentional decisions, that you can strive for, and that you can see progression so that you can then get that confidence. Because truthfully, I don't know how you can get internal confidence beyond you proving yourself to yourself, right? Once you can
Right.
prove yourself to yourself, then you can develop that confidence. But I like to say self awareness is equivalent to your confidence. If you're aware of that you do a bunch of dumb shit all day, you eat terrible, you don't work out, you jack off all day, you play the game all day, your confidence is going to reflect that. You're going to have low confidence. But if you do all the right things, you're intentional behind your actions, you know what you're striving for, you know what you're working for, then you're going to have that confidence. So your self awareness is going to be equivalent, or your confidence is going to be equivalent to what you are aware about yourself. Now, if you don't have that purpose, right, this is why I think every man should take the time to actually figure out what you want to do in life. Even if you're young, you still have something in you. When I was younger, I wanted to make content. Or if you want to go to the league, whatever you really want to do, that's going to be your purpose, at least for right now. And that should be the main thing that you should make and base all your decisions based off of, because you're going to make intentional decisions. And once you make intentional decisions, then you'll start to see progression, because you're not doing things blindly. You're doing things that are going to benefit you. Once you see that benefit, you know you're not wasting your time. It makes you want to do it more. Then you're going to see the progression. Progression is going to give you confidence, and that's going to be the attractive confidence, the attractive mindset of you having that ambition and keeping your purpose first, that a woman can latch onto and can attract. Because if you don't have that north star of what you want to do in life, and you don't have anything that you want more than this girl, she's going to be your source of your confidence. And you can't have her be the source of your confidence. You'll get your source of confidence from proving yourself to yourself through your purpose. Otherwise, you're going to be leaning on her for that confidence. And no woman wants to do that. At the end of the day, some women may take advantage of it and drag you around. But for the most part, I just know women that would want to leave, because I don't know a woman that would really want to deal with that. Like, there's no stability. There's another or there's no emotional stability for a man, and there's no, not leadership, protection. Like, she can't trust you to lead and trust you to protect, because you don't even trust yourself. Like, you rely on her for you to fulfill yourself, right? So the mindset thing is just going to be, or mentally attraction is going to be, just keeping your purpose first, being able to make decisions on your own, make decisions for yourself, right? You being confident and assured about yourself, and developing a mindset of success, and developing a mindset of not dominance in a bad way, but a solution based. Like, I'm gonna handle this. I'm gonna get shit done. Like, I'm gonna carry myself this way. And educating yourself and creating good habits. Like, this is all starts from like your belief system, which is your mentality. And once you can master your mental, you'll have the mental attraction, because women don't think like that. They turn their brains off. So they actually need a man like that. They need a man that can think. A girl is gonna, most women, especially, some women, they grow up without their dads, and with single moms, and the single moms will teach a woman to be independent, right? So some of them women, they'll take care of things. Like, them super independent women, she'll be the one to take care of everything. But for those girls who who aren't that way, they turn their brain off. Like, they'll complain about, and I'm not slandering women right now. I'm just speaking the real. This is what I've experienced. Like, once you get the experience, you understand. Women they complain about something that may not even be that big of a deal. They may make something that's more big of a deal, and you could say something like, oh, all you need to do is boom, boom, boom. We're solution based, right? But that just comes from you taking the time and locking in on your life, and keeping yourself and your purpose first, because you're going to face obstacles in life, but embracing the fact that there's going to be obstacles in life. I got to get through it. I got to figure it out. And when there's a woman here,
Right.
she's going to need a man like that, because all women don't do that. That's my take on the mental attraction. When you hear mental attraction, what do you think of, or do you have any other takes?
I think you said a lot of the good stuff. That's. I mean, yeah. Nah. I mean, I guess you could talk about, when it comes to mental attraction, it can be partially like your decisiveness. That's a big thing too
Yep.
that a woman's gonna pay attention to, because like a lot of women are very very indecisive,
Indecisive.
especially especially when they're interacting with a man. Like, one, the culture is teaching them men are supposed to plan it, right? Plan everything. But then also naturally just how women are, femininity, right? There's the yin and yang, so there's the feminine and there's the masculine. Femininity is a lot more naturally fluid, right? So that's why, girls be kind of up and down, kind of going off of how they feel in the moment. Then they feel like this, and then they go.
Yeah.
That's how femininity is. Masculinity is a lot more solid, fixed, and structured, right? And so the yin and the yang is supposed to be that when she's dealing with a masculine man, his solidness and him being firm and like a rock, right? Knowing what he wants to do and not what he wants to do allows her to fluidly move, right? Her femininity within that structure. A lot of you guys, you struggle with women because, just to be honest, for a woman, you come across like a bitch. So a lot of times to a woman, you are mirroring her femininity. And so when you do that and you're very fluid and indecisive or not sure about things, and you don't know how to lead, you don't lead yourself, you're like, like, even, and this is how deep it get with even the mental attraction. It's like, if you get fired from your job, how do you react? Your woman is watching you, right? She's gonna be watching you. How do you react? Are you damn complaining about it? Are you woe is me? Or are you like, well, shit, I guess I gotta apply to some different jobs. I have a new job. So like, are you like that? You know what I'm saying? See, I'm so far with it. I'm gonna be honest. If I lost my job, which this is my job now, but if I lost it somehow, and I had a girlfriend or whatever, I wouldn't even tell my girlfriend. I wouldn't even tell my. I would just
Try to
move on to
figure
the
it
next
out.
thing. Yeah, and then tell her later. I just so you know, I got this new job. She be like, "You got fired or you lost your?" Like, oh yeah, it's cool. That's how I move. I don't even want to put the burden on her to think she gotta assist with that or decide for me what I need to be doing. You see what I'm saying? And so that is gonna be super attractive to women because they're gonna be looking at you as the one that's steering the ship. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of y'all, what y'all do is y'all are men as far as males biologically, but you don't really act like a man. So when you interact with a woman, you're mirroring back to her indecisiveness, her fluidity, and all of this. And so that's gonna turn her off. She's either gonna actually two things are gonna happen. She's either gonna be turned off by you and not want to talk to you, or if she's one of the manipulative type of bitches, she might want to see how much she can control you because she
Exactly.
see that you're fluid. So she'll actually step into the role because you're being feminine. She'll step into the role of being in her masculine energy. Right. This is when women say, "Oh, I was the one that wore the pants in the relationship." They feel like they got to step up to take your place because you're not doing what you're supposed to. You see what I'm saying? So those are the two options. Both of them is gonna be bad for you. Either you're gonna have some girl trying to control you or move you around, and you're gonna be miserable, or you lose a girl that could have liked you if you actually played your role. Either way, you losing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, yeah, I didn't have too much more to say on top of that. Um, we can pivot into, you know, dealing with women through substance.
Okay. So, I mean, you was just talking about purpose and stuff too. So, let's talk about substance and purpose, specifically in the context of building something long term with a woman in a long term relationship. So, a lot of guys end up having surface level relationships. Surface level relationships could be y'all saying that y'all boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever, but it's only sex. That's a surface level thing. Now, sex is important. It needs to be a part of the relationship. But if that's the predominant activity that y'all share, or that's like the major force that's bonding y'all only, that's a surface level relationship. If the relationship is, oh, we boyfriend and girlfriend, but y'all more so just hang out as just almost like brother and sister are just friends. That's a surface level relationship. You guys have to have a shared purpose or direction that you guys are striving towards. So, and this is the key. You need to be the leader of it. This is why it's your substance. So this your substance is going to be what separates you specifically from every other guy. A dude might you might be attractive like another dude. She might think y'all the same level of attractiveness. You might be able to blow her back out. Maybe the same other dude can blow her back out. But what's gonna make you you? It's gonna be masculine identity that you create and hone for yourself, right? That contains your essence of what makes you unique. So, like, for example, if I'm dealing with a girl and she gets to a phase where, or I promote her to a stage in my life, I gotta promote them. You know what I'm saying? They gotta work their way up like a job. You know, you don't come in at manager. You gotta assembly line, team lead, supervisor, then manager. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I move. But let's say she got to that place, her role and responsibilities for me and also my level of provision for her is going to change compared to when we first met because our lives are more intermingled. So it can't just be play. A lot of guys think a relationship is just, oh, we feel good together and I like her. No, there needs to be a shared level of purpose and responsibilities that y'all are working towards. Okay. And so for me, because I have this Y&D brand and I'm a dating coach and stuff, if I have a girlfriend, my girlfriend is going to be a part of my brand in some sort of way. And that separates me from any dude that she ever met. Maybe she been with a dude that was taller than me. Maybe it doesn't matter. Those are surface level things. At this point, I will always have an imprint on her because this lifestyle that we've cultivated and that we share together is super unique and is unique to me. The only way she can get the Y&D experience at this point is to what? To come to Y&D. You see, that's how you get a girl really in love with you, attached to you, and like wanting to be your helpmate, like a lot of y'all is looking for. You have to have something that she feels like she's an aid to or helping you with. It has to be something of substance. And I know this because I had a wife, right? So, like, for me and my wife, a big part of our purpose and what we did at this time, I was and I'm still spiritual and I still, if you watch my videos, you know, I still use scriptures and stuff. But at this time, I was more closer to a mix of being like a Hebrew mixed with like Christianity type of thoughts, right? Or belief. And so a lot of what we focused on was things related to those beliefs, right? The goal that you're trying to get to in the kingdom of God and heaven and stuff. And so a lot of our relationship was geared around, we was reading Bible scriptures together, right? We was talking every week, you know, figuring out our own struggle areas. And she would tell me where she was trying to work on with her sins. And I'm telling her, you see what I'm saying? This was our common goal. That girl to this day, I know, I mean, I love her to death too now. Now we not together no more, but we still got a lot of love for each other because we knew each other on a deeper level and we shared something that you just can't magically find with the next person. Yeah, I could find a girl that looked better than her. She could find a guy that looked better than me. We could have somebody you sleep with that you like the sex more. But that substance, that deeper connection, that shared purpose and commonality goal, you can't find that unless you come back to me and vice versa. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a different thing based off the combination. If it's me with a different woman, it's going to be different than me with that girl or her with a different dude. That's what a lot of y'all is missing. Y'all relationships is surface level. What happens if your relationship is surface level? The girl is automatically going to start losing interest. What dudes don't realize is the relationship has to keep growing, strengthening, and evolving, especially if you're trying to be married. The way the relationship is in the first 2 years, right? Go ask any couple that's been together for 20 plus years. The way that it started in the first 2 years is not going to be what keep the spark alive 10 years from then. And then it's not going to be what's going to keep the spark alive 10 years from then. It has to keep growing and evolving. Now, instead of thinking like, okay, I need to manufacture growth between me and her, all you got to do is keep seeking truth in your life and keep trying to improve yourself. And naturally, because you're changing and evolving, right? The structure of the relationship over time has to change and evolve. That's how you do that. And you guys are going to grow a deeper and deeper bond. It's a connection that cannot be replaced. If you don't have that and you get very stagnant, you don't have a purpose in life. Y'all don't have a shared purpose. Y'all don't talk about deeper things. And when I say deeper things, I'm not talking about astrology. No, I'm talking about real concepts about life and where you're trying to go and how you want to raise your family and the faith that you have. And this is deeper. Some of you guys might be an atheist or something. You can actually build substance on your atheism. You could do that. You could actually build substance on a shared understanding of your atheism and you being into the materialistic paradigm and Scientology or something, and that's how y'all connect, right? You could build substance with a girl because you have a passion for animals. Maybe y'all create an animal shelter together and you're a vegan and you teach her how to be a vegan and y'all teach about being healthy. Notice that that's so unique. Most dudes are not that. So you got to find your edge and what makes you unique, right? This goes into you knowing yourself as an individual even before her. And then you got to incorporate her and let that be something that y'all share together and grow together in. And that is what keeps relationships going when there's a common goal that y'all after, right? Even if a family, if you want a wife and kids, how do you want to teach your children? What do you want your children to know? What type of individuals do you want them to be? See, most of y'all, when I say that, you probably never even pondered that thought. Your thought is, I just want a wife and kids, and we're gonna live in a house, and I'm gonna have good kids. But what does good constitute? What does that look like? Are your children? Do you have a plan for them to, to understand health and biology? Do you want your kids to be physically fit? Do you want them to be in sports? What's your focus? Some people care about black issues. Some of you guys want to teach your kids about black history, right? Some of you guys don't even think about what history you want your kids to know about. That's a problem because when you go off to work and your woman is, taking maternity leave, or especially if you want a traditional wife, when you go off to work, your woman is the first teacher. The mother is the first teacher that's teaching your child. If you can't tell her what you want to put into those children, she gonna put into them random stuff, or she gonna put nothing in them. And you gonna come home, how my son don't know how to read and write, how my son don't know how to do this. You never shared a common purpose with her of substance, teaching her how important education was for you. You didn't even tell her the type of education you wanted them to have. You see, you gotta think about these things. A lot of guys, oh, I just want a girlfriend because it's gonna feel good. Man, relationships is work. It's not just play. Yeah, there's time to have fun. There's time to just joke and goof off or drink together, or whatever y'all do. But that's not the whole thing. Sex be lasting 15 to 30 minutes. What you gonna do the remainder of the 23 hours and 30 minutes of the day? What y'all talking about? What y'all building on? What are y'all going towards? That's what's important. If you don't have that type of substance and direction that's shared between y'all, and you're not revisiting it once a month or once a week, it depends on how you like to do it. Um, Y'all gonna have a surface level relationship. The girl is gonna lose interest. She's gonna start to feel unfulfilled. She's gonna feel like you were saying, she's your purpose. You just live to just lay up under her all day. Y'all not going nowhere. You have to keep evolving yourself so that you can help your woman level up. If you about sharing love and you love your woman, you should want your woman to keep improving too and leveling up. Y'all gotta have that there. A lot of you guys just want to have a girl. Oh, I finally got a girlfriend. I use Vaughn and these tactics. Finally got a girlfriend. I'm done. No, you're not. You're just starting. He says it's way more. It's way more. And this is where relationships get stale. The spark is gone. There's no new adventure. There's no new thing y'all learning together. There's no new challenge. There's no new thing that y'all conquering and learning about together and growing towards. It's just the same monotonous, mundane relationship. And one day, that's when your girl wake up and say, I don't know what happened, but I just feel like it ain't here no more. I feel like we don't see each other eye to eye no more. And now I want to go be a painter and move to California or some shit. And you'll be like, oh, she left me. She didn't care about me. No, she left you, and God allowed her to leave you to show you that you didn't care about you. You became comfortable. Not see being content is different than comfortable. I'm not telling you to chase $1 billion. What I'm trying to tell you is you became comfortable and being the exact same and having no growth and no development. There's a lot of life out here. It's infinite. There's so much to learn and expand on. Enjoy this life. So your woman at that point leaving you is because she got tired of living this stagnant ass life, this boring ass life. And so she like, damn, I want to do more. You over here just trying to do the same thing. You working the same 9 to 5. Your money ain't went up. You're not increasing in your career. You're not moving forward in your career. You ain't started no business. You ain't got no passions. Y'all do the same stuff. Y'all go to the same places. Y'all even hook up and sleep together the same way. You don't try no new positions. There's no growth forward. You got to have the substance. You got to have what makes you unique. And it really just starts, let's keep it simple. This is the last thing I'm going to say. It starts with you always wanting to evolve and grow and become better in every facet of life. If you just maintain that, naturally, your relationship will have to grow. But if you think like I'm only getting better so I can get a girl, you gonna fuck up. That's where the mistake gonna come in. You need to be doing all of this shit for you and let women be the byproduct that comes after that.
Because women will be the byproduct. I'm gonna just say this, brother. I'm gonna hand you your flowers, bro. I ain't heard nobody say that. Nigga just taught me. I just sat here and listened, just like all these niggas was listening. And it's something you preach
Mm-hmm.
something that I preach, not the way you just did it, but being
Mm-hmm.
unique. Um, one of
Right.
the and when I have dates with people, um, I love when a girl says, I want to do this, and she ain't never did it before, and I never did it before.
Mm.
I got a tattoo with a girl before, and then she told me that every time she see the tattoo, she think of me. Duh, that shit ain't going nowhere.
Who else could she think about?
No,
That's
that
what I'm
shit
saying.
ain't
Who else could
going
she think
nowhere.
about?
That shit ain't going
Exactly.
nowhere. And it's a unique experience, but the way you just did that, because you're right. Your purpose, I mean, obviously, you know, if you're a football player and there's other football players, and you know you want to get to the league and you need her help when doing certain things like treatment, leave her looking up, you know, what diet I need, you know, whatever. That may be similar to other, you know, that may be similar, but at the end of the day, you are your own person, and that's going to be your uniqueness, and that's what's going to leave a mark, bro. It's going to be embedded,
Exactly.
and that goes into the mental attraction, but also kind of segues into the emotional attraction that I wanted to talk about. But before I talked about it, I just wanted to let you know I ain't never ever ever heard. I think I've heard one person kind of speak on it, but never not like that. Like never the purpose of growing a purpose together, right? And like you, I love how you ended it naturally, saying to keep it simple, it's naturally going to happen once you keep your purpose first. That was a great segue from me getting your mindset right, focusing on your purpose, so that way you can bring that purpose into your relationship, so that it can
Right.
thrive, and it can evolve, and it can grow, and it can be actually
Yeah.
beneficial and not just some bullshit. And like you
Right.
said, like you can listen to us. Getting a girl is the easy part. Keeping a girl, I wouldn't say it's hard. Anything that's hard can be done, right? As long as you know how to do it. At one point, walking was hard for us, and now we do it effortlessly. So it just comes from the
Right.
experience and the experiences, and applying what you learning, and continually wanting to grow and evolve. We can never settle in life. It just, you're basically
Right.
right. We can never settle. We can never think that this is it, because it's never gonna be it, nigga. There was computers, or fucking PSPs were popping in 2006. Now we got PCs, and the PCs about to be
Right.
like old microwaves in 10 years. They got VR, Oculus, and all that type of shit. So we're always going to continue to evolve. You never want to get left behind. Always continue to evolve, and you'll always have women as a byproduct. But I want to talk about emotional emotional attraction, and I feel like this is the strongest attraction, because this is where you can actually turn somebody who may not be physically attracted to you, um actually want to spend more time with you because of how you make them feel, right? And I've never even thought about the different ways to attract, the combining the different ways to attract and the types of ways you can attract. But I feel like emotional is going to be a huge one, because we're all human and we all make decisions emotionally, right? So I feel like it's one of the strongest attractions that you can have. And there's a couple of ways that you can do this. But I don't want to say play mind games. They would like to say like we manipulate. It's not what we're doing. We're just understanding human behavior. If I understand that everybody is making decisions emotionally, why would I not tap into, I mean, I make decisions emotionally. So like, why would I not want to learn how these companies and how these people do it? And dating and sales, bro. Like everything in life is just full circle. But how to emotionally attract a girl? I would say that your main thing is going to be listening. Your main thing is going to be listening, because women love to talk, and you're going to be able to make her comfortable by allowing her to talk about things that she may be interested in, allowing her to be comfortable to share things that she may not have shared with any other dude. Other dudes may have tried to impress her, tried, or they had a hard time having a conversation with her, and things of that nature. But when you have a conversation with her and she got to open up, she opened up to you about something that she talked to her best friend about, something that she talked to her mom or her dad about, right? Somebody who has a close proximity to her. Thanks for the follow. Someone who is actually close to her, and it kind of associates you subconsciously with the people that's closest to her. It's like, damn, I like him. I told him something that I ain't told nobody else. Like, and that's an emotional connection that you can make. Connecting with her mentally is also a form of emotional attachment. Like I said, I love doing things that they've never done before, while I'm giving them an experience for them to remember. I already know how to have a conversation. I already know how to flirt. I already know how to talk. So what I'm gonna do with those other elements is I'm gonna create a good time. And when I create a good time, it's gonna associate that location with a good time. And when she's going to associate that location and that good time with me, we have a part in our brain called the amygdala, and the amygdala relates our emotions to our experiences, right? So if I go past Six Flags, I'm gonna think about all the things. Whether I could think about the good things that happen at Six Flags, or I could think about the bad things that happen at Six Flags. But that's what that part of the brain is for. And when you're with a girl, um, I don't want to say you want to make everything emotionally positive, but definitely more positives than negatives. Because I think that there should be, there should be a little hard moments, hard conversations where it may not be the most pleasant, but at the end of those hard conversations, you built more of a connection, you built more of a trust, and those are emotional characteristics that can take you a long, long way. So it all starts with listening, hearing the things that she likes to do, right? Setting up things where shit she like to do it. I can give her multiple reasons. One, I know how to have a conversation, and two, she likes or she wants to go to sip and paint. She ain't never been to sip and paint. I ain't never been to sip and paint. Well, now I'm giving her an opportunity to one, spend time with me, which is obviously is going to be fine. I made her comfortable through a phone call, through a conversation, and two, I'm taking her somewhere that she wants to go to in the first place. That gives her another reason to want to go. And then while I'm there, I do my job. I connect with her emotionally. I listen to what she has to say. I tap into her feelings. I have conversations with substance. I'm able to make her laugh. Like emotions just isn't having deep conversations. It's like being able to tap in with her other emotions. Like, did you have her? What is she going to be thinking about the interaction that y'all had tonight? Right. At first, the more positive, the better. But laughing, having fun, and being comfortable are going to be the main emotions you really want to focus on at first, especially initially when you're dealing with a girl, because those are going to be the emotions that want her to come back and spend more time with you, right?
Right.
And then once you do those things, it's another emotion where it's like your ambition, your drive, that can make her feel a certain type of way, that can make her motivated. That's another emotion. Like, I'm motivated by him. Like, I like him. Whenever I'm around him, like, I don't feel like I'm slacking. I get shit done. Like, those are all things that those are all things that tap in with her emotions, that can make her emotionally invested in you. So like venting, yes, venting. Be careful about what she's venting about. If it's a new girl and she's venting to you about niggas or other boys, and like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I cut that shit off at first. But like, yes, venting, because at the end of the day, when girls tell stories and stuff, they don't always want to a solution. Sometimes they just want to be heard. Sometimes they want to be related to. And that just comes with communication and understanding that. But for the most part, women are not logical people. They're emotional people. So if you can understand that, allow them to let their emotions flow. And like he said, the feminine nature, it's a flow is here and there. So she could be down and then later she'll forget about why she was crying earlier. Like literally. So they want to be understood. Yes, they want her values to be her emotions to be valued. Absolutely correct. But your emotional intelligence is going to take you a long, long, long way when dealing with women, and being able to know how to talk to these women, how to say these sentences, how to read the room, how to read energy, all these things. And it just comes from experience. But this is an experience that is, I feel like, is no, it is, I don't feel like it's mandatory for you to actually understand it, because if you don't experience it, you're never going to understand it. So deal with these women, actually pay attention to these emotions. When I said this made her happy. Okay. When I asked her about this, she got serious. She vented, she told me she lost somebody. Like, things, just pay attention to those things. And those are the emotional connection, the emotionally attracted. And here's the last thing I want to say, right? I don't want to say this the wrong way, so I'm gonna be extra, extra clear, right? I like to listen to the women, because all women don't want to be treated the same. Some women's love language may be words of affirmation, and some women's love language may be physical touch, right? The girl that has the love language of physical touch, you have to physically touch her for her to feel love. However, the girl who has a love language of words of affirmation, your physical touch is not going to do the same damage or the same impact on her as it did the first girl. But if you wrote a love letter or some shit or some shit like that, whatever, or reassured her on the regular, that may make her feel loved, right? Being aware of that can give you the advantage, because if you just treat a girl how she wants to be treated, like that just gives her a reason to want to be there with you, right? But like we said, always keep your purpose first. Always keep your boundaries not a restriction, but keep them mandatory for when you deal with people. But at the end of the day, right, if you have a girl you like, right, treat her how she wants to be treated. Give her a reason to want to be there, emotionally fulfill her. Because if a girl is not emotionally fulfilled, she will leave. 100%. She will go find that somewhere else. And that's what all I have to say on that topic. Did you want to piggyback on emotional attraction, or is there something I didn't cover that you may want to cover?
I just want to expound a little bit. So there's a lot of different emotions that human beings feel, right? The main one, the thing when it's come to emotional attraction, emotional connection, is you really want to hit a predominant amount of them, and you want to really take her on like a roller coaster ride, kind of like. And so let me just lay it out to you like this, so you can understand which ones to hit, and how you're hitting them. Some of y'all, that's especially if you're good with girls, you hitting some emotions you don't even really think about it. So let's check this. So let's say you just met a girl and y'all set a date. Building up to the date, you're creating the feeling of anticipation. You're creating the feeling of some anxiety, and even yeah, those are like the main ones, like anxiety, anticipation. That's a feeling that's coming in. So her heart is racing. She might be a little nervous, right? All of this. That's she's feeling nervous. These are feelings.
Curious.
Now when she right, curious, all of
All
that.
that.
Now, so you hit those. Now y'all meet. If you know what you're doing and you've been watching us and you've been watching Vaughn and you know how to make her comfortable, now you done took her heart from beating and nervous, oh my God, to okay, I like this guy. Now she's starting to feel the happy emotions. Now she's starting to feel, you see, that's another level of emotions. And then you can hit her with the emotions of excitement or surprise. Now, how can you do that? This is where I like to teach guys to not I teach guys that in a simple way, women are very attractive to men when they're agreeable. So a lot of guys are really attracted to girls that are more, like submissive and naturally flowing with what the guy is looking for, right? However, women are going to be attracted to guys that are disagreeable. Now, please listen to this. Do not cut the stream off right now and think, okay, I'm closing the notebook. I got it all figured out, because you don't. Hear this part. When I say disagreeable, I am not telling you to be childish and toxic and start disagreeing with everything this girl say to be attractive. That is stupid. Okay, do not do that. And I'm using it just as a just as the opposite of her being like submissive and agreeable. I'm saying that women are attracted to guys that are disagreeable. Not that you're fighting with her or proving to her that she's wrong, or you disagreeing. I'm saying that you have your own stance on certain topics, you have your own opinions, and you're not necessarily trying to mirror back to her. So where a lot of guys go wrong because you want the girl or you want to sleep with her so bad is, let's say y'all went on a movie date or something, and she's like, I didn't really like that movie for real, XYZ. Now, maybe in your mind you really liked it, but to seem like y'all got something in common when y'all don't, you're gonna be like, me neither. I didn't like when this happened, and you like the movie. It would be better for you to be like,
Why
oh,
you
you tripping.
tripping?
Just playing with it. Oh,
Yeah.
you tripping. You ain't got good taste. Like, you ain't like that. That was one of the best movies I've seen. And you tripping. You ain't like the scene where this. Nah, I didn't really care for it. You crazy. How many movies you seen this year? You don't be watching me. You don't know shit about movies.
Right.
Just playing with her. Before you know it, that's actually going to be more attractive to her. She'll start being like, well, maybe, hold on. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. What part did you like? And you start telling
Just
her.
start
And
questioning
now
herself.
you done took a girl that's saying she didn't like the movie to being like, okay, now that you saying it like that, I think you might be right. It was good. Okay, I was hating on it. That's attractive. Now you bringing her through the emotions of surprise, because she is surprised at your take on it. And And it might even put her in awe towards you. That's another feeling, right? Admiring you because you don't just mirror her and try to reflect everything she's saying like how most dudes do. You got your own opinions. That comes from a position of not being attached from an outcome. For
Yeah.
you to have your own opinions and be able to disagree with her, what you're conveying, right, subconsciously, is that this is my opinion, this is how I feel. And if you don't, and that could make you not like me no more, who cares? Because I'm gonna say what I really think. Now, again, don't do this in like a manufactured way of like trying to say something crazy to surprise her. You just being a goofball. You're gonna make her think you're mean or something. I'm saying naturally say your opinions. A lot of times this stuff is just stuff that's already popping up in your head, but you got this conditioning because you're afraid of losing this girl or upsetting her. So you lie and you give her a fake opinion. All I'm telling you to do is that first thought that come in your head on how you feel about something, be you and say it. That's all I'm saying. Now I will say this, the emotions that you want to avoid, these are the main ones that you want to avoid. All right. You want to hit all of them from even sadness. Now I say make her cry, but some of these dudes out here, they can tell a good story about their own life and what they went through, and that can make a girl really feel for you. And then you can tell a joke about it and bring her mood back up. See, all of that is going to be very emotionally attractive, right? You can bring her through all of these emotions. But what you don't want to do is make her feel disgust. That's not a good emotion for her to feel. All right. That is, I don't see no benefit of that.
It's
I
hard
don't
to coming
know
back from
where you
that
can
one,
put it.
bro.
Yeah, you're done. Actually, yeah, the facts. Yeah, you hit those. These are like the emotions. If you hit these, she gonna lose attraction. You done. If you make her feel disgusted, right? I don't know, man. Some dudes got weird humor. A booger fall out their nose, they eat it, thinking they being funny. Like you're done. Okay, don't do that. Boredom. That's a feeling. You can feel bored. You don't want her to feel bored. And if you're doing all of this stuff and everything Von talking about, she shouldn't be bored. But if a girl thinks you're boring and you're not a fun guy, you're cooked. That's a bad emotion to hit. Anger. Right? You don't want to bring her to the point where she's actually pissed at you. Now, I will say this. Specifically in the beginning, anger in a sense is inevitable if you're dealing with a girl for a long time, right? You're gonna say or do something
Just gonna do
that
something.
she can even misinterpret, and she's gonna be angry. Now, at that stage later in the relationship, actually her feeling that emotion of anger and then coming back down and feeling happy will strengthen the bond because you're pulling her through emotional roller coaster. But I'm specifically talking about, you just met a girl. You shouldn't really be saying nothing that's making her like angry, right? You just met her. Um, and then the last thing is shame. Don't, especially around sex, you don't want to make a woman feel like a thought or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to make her feel like that. You don't, and this is where I tell dudes all the time. I say, man, dudes be wanting to sleep with girls, but then they have all these judgments against girls based off of I don't know what you teach about this, Vaughn, but I'm gonna say
Go
it.
ahead.
Based off of body count, guys is shaming women and judging them based off of women having sexual desires and stuff. You say language that shames them and judges them. And then some of you guys even judge yourself. You're afraid of offending her by talking about sex. See, that's a judgment that you're placing on yourself. You're judging your own desire and not wearing it as a man. You're judging yourself and you have your own shame. Well, femininity is going to reflect you. The woman is going to reflect you. If you feel
Yep.
shame about sex, what do you think she feels in the interaction? She also feels shame. You see, guys be like, how come they don't want to sleep with me? Because you're making them feel ashamed to show their desire to do so. And you're ashamed of your own desire. So why would she want to sleep with you? Why would she want to do that? And she can tell that you suppress it and you have shame towards it. So no shame, anger, especially in the beginning, boredom and disgust. You want to avoid those emotions, but sad, happy, surprised, and anxious, and feeling anticipation. Take her through all of those. That's all I got on that.
That was great. Even the fact that she went in there and gave some characteristics and gave examples of what emotions and why. I love that. That's great teaching. I'm gonna open the floor for 10 minutes. 11:30. Ask questions. Y'all know we give extended answers, so first come, first serve. Verzi, I know you said you had a question earlier, so I'm gonna definitely look for yours. Um, it said, I remember, somebody said, I remember YD made a video about embrace your feminine side as a man. Does that come with having emotional intelligence? I believe so, yes. I believe, like,
Yeah,
understanding, like, I feel like emotional intelligence is two things. One, understanding who you're dealing with and like being able to read the vibe, and two, being able to deliver your message to the person that you're talking to based off of their vibe. So learning,
Right,
knowing how to communicate how, or yeah, learning how to communicate a message to somebody based off of how they feel.
right. Yeah, I would say um being if so most dudes start off
Nah, birds,
being
I can't.
inauthentic. What you say?
Nah, my bad. I was reading my chat. Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say most dudes start off being inauthentic, shy, and stuff like that. So that makes them feminine, but not in the way that I was talking about in that video, right? That's more of like you're feminine by default because you're afraid of being yourself. That's different. But you need to get in touch with your feminine side consciously. And that's going to happen after you become in touch with your masculine side. So, usually, how this process goes for most dudes, they're shy, they might be a little lazy, they might be afraid. But they're feminine more by default, not because they're consciously in tune with it. You get what I'm saying? That's different. So women are going to be turned off. So then what do? They find guys like us. They realize they need to work out. They need to have more structure. That's all the masculine stuff. Now, once you got that down, what you'll realize is you can become hyper masculine and be too much in your head about trying to seem masculine. But real masculinity knows this. It's not the clothes that make the man, it's the man that make the clothes. See, when you're on a lower level of masculine, you think that you're masculine because you got muscles and you wear a certain type of clothes. A real masculine man, the final destination is no, I'm masculine because I know myself and it don't matter what the hell I'm wearing. I'm just masculine because I'm saying it and I'm me. You see what I'm saying? And to get to that, you would have to start embracing your femininity, which means for some of you guys, you would have to go through a stage of like allowing yourself to be free a little bit more. Because a lot what happens in the beginning is you learn all these masculine tactics on how to deal with women and how to behave as a masculine man. You become too neurotic and you start to overthink everything. And so now you got to swing the pendulum back the other way to get balance, which is going towards your feminine side. Instead of overly thinking too much about how you should act masculine, recognize, okay, I done did enough of that work. I done did it for a couple of years, whatever. Now I need to embrace just being authentic and letting myself say and do things how I naturally want to. Get out of your own head. See, being too masculine makes you too logical. And that's going to mess you up when you're dealing with women because women, they're going to follow their feelings a lot. They're a lot of more intuitive. The guys that are really good with women know how to make women feel a certain way. But the only way you can do that is if you yourself are in touch with emotions and understanding feminine, your own femininity. So that's why that's very, like, very, very important.
All right, I got two questions right here. The first one I'm gonna let you answer first because I'm not familiar with it is. But keep
Okay.
moving forward. Say, do you have or do y'all have any different opinions on the black pill lately? I'm not sure what black pill is, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about it
Okay.
first.
Um, lately, I mean, look, I don't know what they're teaching lately, but the black pill is basically where guys think that looks is everything. Like women only care about looks and
Oh,
your genetics, right? So that's like basically they kind of believe in like a genetic determinism type of thing. It's like however you was born to look and your genetics that determines it. So if you short and yeah, you're cooked, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like they think everything is about just the look side. I'm not gonna be able to explain it that well. I'm very familiar with it, but I don't. I'm not
I
looking
think
at it
I got
right
a
now.
I
So
got a
you know,
genuine idea. Basically, the physical attraction part of this dream without the rest.
yeah, they think it's all that, and so my problem with that is this. So a lot of those guys in that community, they like to cite they're nerds. All those dudes in that community, they're very much geeks, logical nerds. That's why they suck with women because they don't know how to take women on those emotional roller coasters and be intuitive. They're too left brain thinking. They don't understand that attraction is not always logical. Actually, that's what they don't get. But they want to look at bone structure and be like, okay, he looks like a Chad, so he's gonna get all the women. That's how they want to think, right? They're like goofy like that. But here's the thing I'll say. My opinion on the black pill is having good looks is just one aspect of it. But here's the thing: they love to talk about the halo effect. The halo
Mm.
effect is basically where because somebody thinks you look attractive, they project positive attributes onto you automatically. So, there's studies that show when women find you more physically attractive, they're more likely to assume that you are probably more intelligent, that you might make more money, that you might be kinder. And so what they do is they filter some of your behaviors through that lens, even if it's not true. This is why they say, in the celebrity world, beautiful people can get away with being bad because people kind of project this idea that they're good. That's why it's the halo effect. You treat them like they're angels just because they look good. And here's the thing that guys don't understand about the halo effect, and I'm about to burst your bubble right here, is that you're correct that if a woman finds you more physically attractive in her opinion, she will automatically ascribe positive attributes to you. She will assume that you're probably already good with girls. She will assume that you might get other women. She will assume that you might be more intelligent. She is gonna assume that you know how to talk to women. But see, that's just her assumption. You actually have to interact with her, and now her assumptions about you are going to be tested. So let's say she thinks you are very physically attractive and you start interacting with her. That means she is assuming that you're going to know how to talk to her. But if when you open your mouth, you don't know how to talk to her, she's going to immediately lose interest in you. That's what you guys don't get. So, yes, you're correct. By being more physically attracted to her, she will assume that you're overall better but before she interacts with you. But just like if you saw a burger that look and smell real good, you're going to assume, oh, I need to eat it. It's real good. But when you eat it and the ingredients is cheap and they're shit, it's still shit. That's what guys don't understand. As soon as you bite it and you're like, huh? It's gonna be the same thing with her. You look great. She's gonna assume it's good. That's gonna make her want to buy into it. But as soon as she experiences you and you unconfident, you don't know how to talk to women, you don't know how to lead, you don't know how to interact, you don't have a purpose, you don't stand on your shit. You're submissive and you're passive and compliant with her, and you let her control you or lead you. Who cares how physically attractive you are? At that point, you're still not that guy. So actually, the halo effect in being just physically attractive can backfire on you if you have not done the inner work. Because what's going to happen is you will attract a lot of women on the front end, but when they actually consume you, the same way once you consume that burger that look and smell good, nobody's gonna come back to buy it. And in fact, word of mouth would be, hey, don't go to that store. Everything look good, but it tastes like shit. The women will start saying the same thing about you. Yeah, he looked good, but it ain't nothing to him. I done heard women say that. They'll say, oh, he was a dud. It was nothing to him. He was weird acting, or he didn't know what he was doing. It's like he looked good, but what else is there?
Right.
You see? And so that will actually make her lose interest faster because she has this expectation. And if you don't match those expectations, you're super cooked.
Right.
That's what the guys don't get. So in those scenarios, I would actually say a dude that's average looking to her and she think he like a 6 out of 10, but he go up to her and her assumption is, oh, he an average dude. He ain't gonna know what to say. But you do know what to say. That guy would have better results with girls. A dude that's average looking, but looks at himself like he's that guy and know how to talk to women, he will have better results than a dude that looks real good, but he don't know what the fuck he doing.
That's
Because
factual.
it's like what they say, you undersell it. Like you tell somebody, hey man, hey Vaughn, check out this new spot, bro. The food is cool, bro. You gonna like it. Now in my mind, I know it's the best thing ever. But if I undersell it and you go and you got lower expectations and it is real good, you're gonna be like, damn. But
Exceeding
imagine if I say,
expectations.
exactly. But imagine if I say, bro, it's the best thing ever, bro. It's the best thing. And then you go, you got this high expectation and it don't hit. Not only you ain't gonna say it was still good or whatever. No, you're gonna be like, bro, it was all right, bro. I don't know why you told me it was the best thing ever. Your expectation was it was gonna be all of this. And if it don't meet it, the way you think of that restaurant, even my opinion after that is gonna be, you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
I feel like uh, I feel like it has to supersede the expectation. If an expectation is that high, for example, the movie Sinners, I haven't watched it yet. I'm not really a movie head, but I didn't heard so many people say it's good. It's like now it has to be like it has to exceed what I think it is because
Right, exactly.
but I don't know too much about black pill or whatever, but basically that's why we're teaching y'all the things that we're teaching y'all. This is a whole master class. This is an attraction master class beyond just the black pill, beyond just the physical attraction, because what we're trying to do is we added the physical attraction so that you can have that appeal, that the hamburger that looks real good, but we want the hamburger to taste better than it looks. And that's what we're going to do with all the having a sexual attraction, being able to have a mentally attract her, be able to have purpose in your relationship, and be able to give her unique experiences and connect with her emotionally. That's going to supersede your looks to a point, because the looks fade, bro. Looks fade. Looks are going to fade. That's something that you're not going to have forever, right? So if you can connect with her on a level that's never that's never gonna go nowhere, emotions, mentality, um, then you're good. I got two more questions. I can't answer no more after this. Uh, the first one I'm gonna be brief on mine. Do you think people misread female? Do you think people misread female emotions? I do feel like I don't even think it's just female. I feel like most people in the world misread emotions because they don't put themselves in other people's shoes enough. I'm gonna just keep it simple and plain like that. If people stood aside of themselves and actually put themselves in other people's shoes and realize that sometimes there are going to be things that are people are going to be wrong about, but when it comes to opinions, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily wrong. We all have our own experiences with cultivates our beliefs, and that's where we're speaking from. So if you can understand, okay, I don't agree with her what she's saying right now, but I do understand that she may have experienced something in her life or experienced talking to somebody who has experienced that in their life, and that's what she believes. I'm not. It's very hard. That's why I preach emotional intelligence, because once you understand this part of life, it's very hard to unsee it. It's very hard to not understand people. Like, I can understand from a mile away a person, a person like a loud person or an arrogant person or a person with a big heart. Like, they can be loud, but they can have a big heart. Like people from New York, they're very loud, but for the most part, they have a huge heart. Like, people hate on New York because they can be arrogant or whatever. They love the hardest. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, the inner cities, the urban people, they love the hardest, no matter how urban it may look and it may be. And you have to pay attention to the qualities and the characteristics and how they speak about certain things. Yeah, they may complain, but at the end of the day, they always gonna do it for you, like, and things of that nature. And there could be some nice people and be fake talking behind your back all the time, and that just comes from experience. You're gonna gain your emotional intelligence from experience. But as far as misreading people, all it takes is listening and just try to put yourself in their shoes, and you'll have a better opportunity or a better chance at actually understanding how they feel, and you can answer correctly and be able to, like I said, emotionally fulfill them, because they may come across people who argue with them back and forth and they don't understand, but you could be the only person that understands them. But YD, you can go. Versi, nah, I'm gonna read yours last. It was the longest, so I feel like we're going. It was specific for YD, so I'm gonna let him answer that, because I don't even answer questions like that. But I'm gonna let him answer this one first.
Um, I just say I'm just piggybacking off of you. A lot of people have limited perspective. And when you have limited perspective, that's synonymous with saying that you lack awareness. Because most people are very selfish naturally. Like that, I mean, that's just kind of how it starts. Like when you're first born, you don't even care about that those are your parents. You just want to get fed and get what you want, right? That's just how life starts. Life is about growing and raising your level of awareness. When you do that, you not only become are self-aware, but then you need to also expand it and start looking at, how other people feel. You got to care about other people's agendas and their perspectives. And the way that you start this is, remember this, what I'm about to say. One, try to put yourself in other people's shoes. That's number one, like you were saying. But number two, you got to understand, this is what I'm about to say is a fact. All people, I don't care how bad you think somebody is, all people act from what they believe is good intentions or the right thing to do. You
Right.
got to know that. When you know that, you can start to reverse engineer these situations you go through when you're reading a woman's feelings or why she reacted that way. And the first thing I always used to think, I would always know to myself, I would say, if I lived her exact life, like if I had her genetics, her parents, and her all her experiences, I would be her. So I would be doing exactly what she's doing right now. Why is she doing that? Let me understand that. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be you gotta be able to hold multiple perspectives. Now that doesn't mean you have to agree with all the perspectives, but the biggest thing in life is learning how to see things from multiple angles and sides. Most people think that their perspective is the only correct one, but that's because they're ignorant to the fact. Well, no, like right now, a lot of people think Christianity is just 100% right. Now, I'm not here to say if it is or isn't right. What I'm about to do is just get you to start thinking. Well, guess what? Of course you think that. You grew up in a Western world, your household was Christian, and that's all you, for a lot of you, only been exposed to. But guess what? If you lived in the Middle East, you would be practicing Islam the same way they are. You see, literally, you would. There would be nothing else but what they put in front of you since you were born. When people can really stop, calm down, and recognize this is where you can start to be more empathetic and compassionate and understanding of different perspectives. Now, that doesn't mean you have to become a Muslim to, to right your wrongs or something or whatever. Well, no, what I'm saying is learn how to understand people and take on multiple perspectives. The more perspectives you are able to hold and at least understand, the more discernment you will have and the more understanding you can have and compassion you can have for people, which then goes into what Vaughn was saying. Now you know how to talk to them in a way that they can understand because you understand them. And now you can put yourself in their shoes. Okay, this is the issue we got. They reacted this way. And now I get it. And if I was them and if I did only think like them, how would I want somebody to talk to me so I can get them, so they can get me to see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you know how to convey your message in that way.
Boy, oh boy, this is some game, brother. I hope y'all took y'all notes out. Some this is gonna be on YouTube. All of it ain't gonna be on YouTube. The Q&A parts, y'all gonna miss it. I'm throwing that in the Patreon, so y'all got to get that. But before I end, why do you have anything you want to shout out? Shout out everything you want to shout out.
Man, just subscribe on YouTube, Young and Disciplined, YND. Go to my Instagram. I just hit 11K. You know what I'm saying? Young and Disciplined YND. And check me out on the Patreon if you want in-depth, game. If you want to do some coaching, I got different packages on there for one-on-one calls and stuff. That's it, man. I appreciate you having me on here too. You
Bro,
know what I'm saying?
I'm overly appreciative for you coming in here spitting game.